need an ambulance as soon as possible, sir. We have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing. We're trying to pump him, but he's not. Okay.
We quickly learned from a couple of sources that he went into cardiac arrest.
He was rushed to UCLA Medical Center.
So we started getting word from our sources that Michael Jackson was dead at the house. So it was really weird that they still rushed him down to UCLA Medical Center. And it was just after 2 in the afternoon that we posted the story. Michael Jackson had died.
TMZ broke the story of his transfer to the hospital this afternoon.
The reports we are hearing from TMZ that the era of the King of Pop is over.
TMZ was the first to report this, that Michael Jackson had died.
My brother, the legendary King of Pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25th.
Drug enforcement agents, Las Vegas and Los Angeles police officers raided the Las Vegas home of Dr. Conrad Murray. A law enforcement source tells CBS News the investigation is centered around the powerful anesthetic propofol.
The district attorney has charged Dr. Conrad Murray with involuntary manslaughter in the pop star's death. The coroner ruled Jackson's death a homicide.
We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Conrad Robert Murray, guilty of the crime of involuntary manslaughter.
Dr. Conrad Murray may have been the final straw, but it was a straw that broke the camel's back. This was decades in the making. The reality is a bunch of doctors got Michael addicted, kept him addicted, connived with him to keep him strung out. And the fact is, his death, it was almost inevitable.
It's a lot more complicated than just Dr. Murray was at his bedside when he died. Circumstances had been leading up to this death for years. And all of these different medical professionals that allowed Michael to dictate his own terms, get the medicines he wanted, when he wanted them, where he wanted them, all of them are the reason why he's dead today.
Golly.
My name is Orlando Martinez. I am a detective with the Los Angeles Police Department, Robbery Homicide Division. I was one of the lead investigators in the Michael Jackson death investigation case. I'd been a police officer for 27 and a half years. At first, it was just the death investigation. We thought it was natural causes. When I went to the house, nothing was really setting off alarm bells. As soon as I got into the room where he was being treated or being cared for, that's when my spidey sensor, my experience told me something is different here.
So from the start, we had heard that Michael was being fueled with drugs. Frankly, we knew this because he was going to a Beverly Hills dermatologist named Arnold Klein just about every day in the 2 months leading up to his death. And he would go in there for about 3 to 4 hours. And when he came out, it was absolutely bizarre. We had these videos of him interacting with fans and paparazzi, and he looked like a zombie.
Do you like the dome, Michael? What do you think of the dome? Yeah, I love it. All right, come on, guys. I want one. Guys, the airport. I'll see you soon. Okay.
The day after Jackson's death, the coroner went to the house, and that was the first time we heard about propofol.
My name is Ed Winter. I was the assistant chief for the Los Angeles County Department of Coroner. I was there just under 17 years. I oversaw the high-profile cases, and I was called out the day that Michael Jackson was found unresponsive, was transported to the hospital, and passed away. We were able to recover large, I describe it almost as Gatorade-sized bottles of propofol in the residence.
I'm Dr. Drew Pinsky. I'm a board-certified internist and addiction medicine specialist. I'm a fellow at the American College of Physicians. I was the program medical director for a chemical dependency unit at Las Encinas Hospital. Let me be clear. Propofol is not a sleep medication. It's an anesthetic. You are completely shut down while you're on that medication. You are not going through normal sleep cycles, restorative sleep. You are on a profound anesthetic. The fact that that was stored and administered in a private residence, not specifically in a hospital or surgical center, can't imagine how that happened.
The fact that, I will say this, the fact that MJ lived as long as he did is amazing because there's no way he should have been able to even function taking that daily the way he did. Like it, man, that's insane.
There's a place called Applied Pharmacy Services, which was in Las Vegas. Over the course of April, May, and June, they shipped over 4 gallons worth of propofol to Dr. Murray's girlfriend's house for him to use to help keep Michael Jackson asleep every single night. I mean, it's amazing that Mr. Jackson hadn't passed away sooner.
Dr. Murray told cops propofol was nothing new in Michael's life.
One of the things that Dr. Murray told us was that Michael had an affinity for the propofol, which he called milk, because it's a white liquid, and that Michael had been using it to help him get rest and get sleep for years since he had discovered it in Europe. Dr. Murray said that he had a couple of doctors in Europe that would travel with him and provide him this drug to help him sleep. Dr. Murray took over from a doctor who had taken over from other doctors, basically allowing Mr. Jackson to dictate his own treatment, to use the drug that he preferred to help him get his rest.
Don't doctors take an oath? Like, don't y'all take not bureaucratic, what you call it? But don't y'all take an oath, like, to, like, do what's best for the patient or something like that?
Feel like he's been unjust.
Like, I don't care. I love Michael, but I don't care what he asked or what he paid. Like, at the end of the day, it's your job to take care of the patient and do what's best for them, not what they want.
With Michael Jackson, because a lot of people feel like you're not guilty. I'm not guilty.
Dr. Murray felt that if he did not help and administer it to Mr. Jackson, that Michael would just go somewhere else to get it. He needed it. He knew about the drug. He knew that it worked for him, and was the one who suggested it to Dr. Murray, actually demanded it.
It was in the last couple of months you were contacted, right, initially by Amir and for this tour.
2 months.
In the last couple of months.
2 months.
Okay, you've administered it more than 10 times?
Yes.
More than 20 times?
30 days a month, roughly, every day.
Oh, so it's about the daily.
But daily, with the exception of 3 days leading up to his death, I tried to wean him off that medication.
The criminalist who advised me that the toxicology was showing an extremely large amount of propofol in Michael's system, and that, in his words, he said there was enough propofol in him to put down a rhinoceros. Michael Jackson died of acute propofol intoxication and, I believe, cardiac arrest.
I am Conrad Murray, a subspecialist in cardiology. I was Michael's personal physician at the latter part of his life. The trial was clearly unjust. We first could not call any witnesses that we were interested in, many of whom were doctors that had treated Michael for years and years, decades, with opioids. I never did that.
One of the spokes in Michael Jackson's wheel was a Beverly Hills doctor by the name of Dr. Arnold Klein. We will not be able to call Dr. Klein as a witness or his staff.
I never enabled his addiction, which I was not aware of. Your Honor, I am an innocent man. They accused me of having Michael on a 3-hour propofol infusion. That was false.
We had no doubts. That's why we're here.
Michael was watching over us. He was watching over us. Yes, very happy.
The judge denied Murray bail and sent him straight to jail.
The judge is really throwing the book at him.
The court imposes the high term of 4 years imprisonment in this case.
I stayed in the Los Angeles jail for 2 years.
The fact, I'm sorry, because I want to make sure he said everything he said before at the end of the day, he was in your care. I don't care what everybody else did. I don't care what other doctors did. He was in your care. He is your responsibility. You are dosing him. So it doesn't matter what happened. He was in your care. Now, if Michael took a substance that you didn't know about and he was doing dibble dabbling and he did something before you dosed him, okay, we could put that on Michael. But at the end of the day, what you were doing was still illegal. You should not have been doing it. So you are still liable. There was no nurse with you. There was no crash car with you when you were doing this daily for what, 2 months, he said? He was in your care. He is your responsibility. You were negligent. You are guilty. I don't know how you don't see that. It doesn't matter if you didn't try to kill him. You were negligent. Therefore, involuntarily, someone argue it wasn't involuntarily, you killed him. Yes, you were guilty. The fuck you talking about?
I lived in a 7 by 5 feet cell.
I don't give a shit.
It was a shattering experience.
I bet it was.
I was mostly decimated with grief and pain. I lost just about most of what I had set up for my retirement, for my children's future.
As you
for my
should.
home, my livelihood.
As you should. Yeah. That's what happens when you're negligent. Oh, I'm so glad. I was about to say, I hope they go. Okay, TMZ's on point today. TMZ was on point today. Okay. Be on point today. Okay.
Michael's downward spiral all started when he filmed a Pepsi commercial in 1984.
Oh, we doing it. Okay. We getting to nitty-gritty today.
He was on stage as the director called for pyrotechnics to go off all around him. They did take after take after take. Finally, on take 6, they pushed a little too hard, and Michael ended up in harm's way. The pyrotechnics went off, and the flames were licking right at Michael's hair. It caught on fire. It was a horrific scene.
Boy, I still say Michael was lucky he didn't get worse.
Singer Michael Jackson is back home tonight after suffering burns to his head last night during the filming of a Pepsi TV commercial. Jackson was dismissed from the hospital today against the advice of his doctor. He has both second and third degree burns of the scalp. Fortunately, the third degree component is relatively small.
Michael's injuries were horrendous. Doctors used balloons to stretch his skin, and honestly, he never fully recovered, and that's when he got hooked on painkillers. Keep in mind, this is 1984, a full quarter century before he died, and he became profoundly addicted to pain meds.
It is completely appropriate for Michael Jackson to receive opiates for a burn. He shouldn't suffer. He should get the necessary pain medication. But to go for months or even years afterwards on opioid pain medications is ridiculous. And there was an excessive enthusiasm in my profession for the prescribing of opiates.
So there's a vicious cycle going on here. The more Michael Jackson recorded hits, the more he toured, and the worse his addiction became. For example, he recorded Thriller. That became the biggest selling album of all time, and that created an insatiable appetite on the part of his fans to want to see him in concert.
He made a quick dash for the world.
This was the scene last night as people arrived plenty early for the long-awaited, sold-out Michael Jackson concert.
I love Michael Jackson. It's fantastic. I love
And there was also the Victory Tour, which was the farewell tour for the Jackson 5. And Michael didn't even want to do that tour.
When I do those solo albums and I'm doing all kinds of different music, it's wonderful. I feel like I'm accomplishing what I'm supposed to do.
And you don't feel guilty or worried about your brothers?
No.
But there was so much family pressure. His mom eventually convinced him to do it, and that just made a bad addiction worse.
It happened about an hour ago in Kansas City, the start of what's being billed as the biggest traveling musical show in American history. Some people say that it's more like what happened 20 years ago when the Beatles first played Kansas City. But most of Michael Jackson's fans are too young to remember that. For them, this is the biggest moment in their lives.
So I wonder, if it wasn't for the Jacksons tour, that might be an idiotic question. Like, do you think Michael would have toured Thriller? Because the album dropped in 82. The tour didn't start till 84. Do you think Michael actually would not have toured the Thriller album? Which is the biggest selling album of all time. So did he really need to tour it? I never actually thought about that till now. I wonder if Michael's plan was not to actually do a tour. Maybe he wasn't up to, or because I've never heard no stories of him planning for a Thriller tour, ever. We've never heard that story of him planning for a Thriller tour. So it might have been a case of where he wasn't even planning on touring until he did the tour with his brothers. That's interesting. I'm not putting anything on the brothers or the mom or that. I'm just saying, I wonder if he was not feeling up to doing a tour. And this is before the Pepsi commercial. I wonder.
That was followed by the Bad Tour. 16 months of grueling performing and traveling. And by the time the Dangerous Tour hit, Michael was a mess.
When I look at somebody like Michael, I've seen him, the lights have gone out on stage, and he's fallen to the floor in the darkness. Somebody comes out, gives him oxygen, the lights come up, and he's right back ready to hit it.
He was said to be taking oxygen backstage after every second prompt.
He started canceling tour dates for various illnesses before he just pulled the plug on the entire tour.
Jackson canceled a Friday show in Caracas, Venezuela, and shows scheduled for Sunday and Tuesday in Puerto Rico, and all future dates on the Dangerous Tour.
So here's what was going on behind the scenes. Michael graduated from pain meds to anesthesia. He used it to sleep, and he became shockingly reliant on it. A lot of people...
I also wonder, because Bad was supposed to be his last tour, what was the catalyst for him doing the Dangerous Tour? Because he clearly did not like to tour, and he clearly thought the Bad Tour was going to be his last tour. 16 months is a long time. I wonder what made him tour again. I don't know if I ever actually found out or got that answer. What made him tour again and do the Dangerous Tour, and especially do the History Tour? Because I feel like had he just stopped touring, and it would have eventually, hopefully, weaned him off of those meds to begin with. But he kept touring. So I wonder what the motivation behind that was.
We're saying privately, Michael's addictions and the cancellation of the Dangerous Tour were directly connected.
I attempted to give him a shot of Demerol, but his buttocks was so scarred up and abscessed that the needle almost bent, in which case at that point in time I ran an IV and I administered some IV pain medication.
And do you recall what IV pain medication you administered?
Morphine.
Michael was on the Dangerous Tour in 1993 in Bangkok, and that's when he asked Dr. Finkelstein to shoot him up with Demerol.
After I took care of Mr. Jackson and he went on stage, another doctor from England came and assumed responsibility for Mr. Jackson. I came back from a trip to the pyramids, and my suitcase, of which I had all my medications in, was broken into. At that time, the doctor, told me that he had broken into my suitcase to get medications.
What specific medication did he break into your suitcase to get?
The pain meds. I don't recall if it was Demerol or morphine or both.
And did he break in to get the pain medication to give it to Mr. Jackson?
Yes. We thought that we needed to do an intervention. He needed to be detoxed. They called in Elizabeth Taylor to do an intervention.
When Michael's doctor called to ask if I could help, I was glad to intervene. I know gold is not enough. She's a